Back to the Clydesdale Media After Show. It is Saturday night here at the Alliant Energy Center. We are still here because everything went a little long tonight with an amazing event at the Coliseum. So glad to hop on with everyone and kind of get your thoughts and opinions. We're going to have some people jump on with us to give their impressions along the way. But right now it's just Kat and I.
Hey.
Hey, Kat.
That was fun.
So, started with some swimming, a little ski erg, and that seems 3 days ago.
It does, and I think we agreed too that it's more like a ski event than a swimming event for most.
Definitely, yeah. I because I did swim a lot when I was younger, watching it. A lot of the really good swimmers just took it easy and made like the first couple rounds of warm up, and they could get everything done pretty easily and get all that in. And then they moved on to the ski erg and just hammered away towards the end. And we have Taylor with us.
Hey, girl.
Hi.
So Taylor Reber, she was at the MAC semifinalist and games tester, which she released this afternoon on her IG Live. So you've actually done all of these events. We talked to you this afternoon on the IG Live about event 2, the sprint. Everything seems 6 days ago to us, Taylor.
I know. Y'all have been there grinding it out from sun up to sundown.
Well, let's talk about the swim event since that's what we were talking about before Taylor jumped on.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
Did you test that event?
Swim event.
Do what? Oh, are you talking? Sorry.
Did you
Yes, we tested swim. Yeah, that was. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, we were just commenting that it was more like a ski event than a swim event.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that distance for a lot of those athletes are relatively short, especially compared to the last year games. So that is a sprint swim for them, and especially for those who are more, I guess, like seasoned in the water and have been practicing, that's a relatively easy swim for them. So it was absolutely more of a ski event for sure.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I talked to Taylor Stride, who is a collegiate swimmer, and we talked about how it was pretty much a warm-up for good swimmers the first couple rounds, and they were just waiting for the opportunity to hammer the ski erg at the end.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it didn't have like a huge, dramatic effect on the shoulders this swim. I think it was probably like any kind of like shoulder stiffness or soreness would come from like the previous days with a lot of the gymnastic heavy work. But yeah, I mean, it was really cool to see much everybody make it to those camera. You can see those athletes who are comfortable in the water who were able to kind of open up their swim and speed it up so that way they could get some more time on the ski erg.
You can see the comment, Taylor, but my mom is saying hi.
That's your mom. Hi, Cheryl.
So we've got a couple other people joining us tonight. We've got Raff with some commentary on the events, and then we have a special guest, Rodrick Lopez, who you may know as Meme for Time on Instagram, and he's been doing some fun stuff around the games too. So we'll get to him as well and let him tell everybody about what he's been doing. But Raff, we were just talking about event 1 today, this swim event, and how it was more like a ski event than a swim event. And I don't know much more what else we can say about that one.
Yeah, I think for the individuals, the swim was kind of like a barrier to entry. If you could swim, you could do it. But on the men's side, Pat Vellner, kind of notorious for not doing well in swim events, took 30th there. So I think it wasn't insignificant. Probably, I don't know how his ski is relative to the field, but I do think just a cool event for everybody to be able to do the exact same thing too. So it had that element.
Yeah. So let's move on to event 2. I think we've hammered the first event now. So event 2 was outdoors, and it was the sprints with the dumbbell snatches and the wall balls.
Yeah, 11-foot target.
That on G Live. Yeah. How much difference did that make, Taylor, when you tested it?
The 11-foot target.
Yeah.
Not honestly, not too much. It was more like just being patient and being accurate on your target. Like you didn't want to like completely biff it and not hit the center of the target, it being a foot taller. So it was more just about being intentional with every single rep and making sure, you're following through the toss and being patient at and not balance. But it was
Raff, did you get a chance to do this one?
No, I haven't. But it looks like a fun one to kind of, try in your gym. Obviously the run, you'd have to like pace out, but, yeah, I'd agree with Taylor for sure. That's what it seemed like. It seemed like no mistakes and a clean run was going to be your best bet. Whereas the athletes, like, that felt very comfortable, in their, squat snatch position, kind of went for it. But yeah, I think it's all about the accuracy on that wall ball.
Yeah.
But to a high target, it's not something that you train.
Yeah, watching live was electric too. It was really exciting, some of those races. With the, moving forward with the dumbbell, only doing 2 reps each time. It was kind of like they looked like rabbits just going from one dumbbell to the next. It was fun to watch.
Yeah, it was a little hard on the stream, I felt. They weren't able to really keep any score. So from like a total time perspective, you didn't really know. I'm sure even in person, it was hard to kind of tell who was actually winning. But, it made each individual run kind of interesting. But in terms of like a total, who won that event, I don't know if anyone really knew by the end of it. So it was interesting. I don't think we've seen that very often at a games event where everybody finishes and you go, okay, who won?
Yeah, who did win for that, Scott? Do we have a leaderboard?
That one was
Majeros. Oh, yeah. D won for the guys.
Guys, yeah.
And then
they both came out of the first heat.
And who was the female?
Ellie Turner.
Right. Okay. Cool. Two new people winning events again,
which is exciting to watch.
So then we had about a 3-hour break. Teams did a lot of like weird apparatus, a little tumbler, all that kind of stuff. And then we got into the Coliseum where it was sandbag time. And leading up to that event, everybody was like, where's the barbell? Where's the barbell? This stinks. Where's the barbell? I don't think it could have been more exciting than what it was because of the slow pace of pulling that sandbag up. The crowd kept getting louder and louder and louder and louder. And it was deafening in the Coliseum.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a cool one just to watch even from home, not even being in the Coliseum, because it's such a long rep. It's not a light, snappy, dynamic snatch or clean and jerk. Like it's said, like energy is building as people are pulling the sandbag flap and bring it to the shoulder. Like, I mean, we're sitting at home, my husband and I were like screaming at the TV.
I think everyone
it was
was.
exciting.
There's so many different techniques too, right? You had the people that could just pop it right up, like Danny Spiegel. You're like, all right, bring out the men's sandbags too. Let's keep going, Danny, and see where you can go. But then you had Justin doing his kind of like arm over, twisted up, and then Jacqueline Dahlstrom just hitching it up. I think it was just. I totally agree. It was just so cool to watch the grit from every athlete, and even when they failed, you just felt like they gave it their all there. It was cool.
They were.
I thought it was very interesting that, first and second, and then tied for first for the men. You had, the person that you probably would have guessed would have won a strength event. And then the last person you probably would have guessed to win a strength event. Like Jacqueline Dahlstrom, are you kidding me? She's tiny. Like, and their techniques were different. Like she and Nick Matthews sort of did it the same way. And, Danny did it like no other. She barely like stopped at her waist. It was incredible to watch.
Yeah, it was really cool seeing a 148-pound girl move that sandbag and she just did not quit. She did not quit on it. It was so cool.
Yeah, I think it's so CrossFit, right? It's like you can be the athlete that's the technically proficient or just the power athlete like the Danny, or you can just be the athlete that just has the grit and, come out with the same amount of points, essentially. I agree. I think, we're so used to seeing a barbell for a strength event, but now we got pretty excited over, picking up just the sandbag. It's cool.
Yeah, I have to say, I think I said this to my team when it was going on. Nick Matthew is the grittiest athlete I have ever seen in person. And that he gets to showcase that grittiness on the games level makes me so happy. Because nobody tries harder than that guy.
Well, yeah, I was really watching him too. He's on completely opposite ends of the spectrum. When he dominated a skill event, a high skill event, and then came along and just moved a massive sandbag, like those big guys. I was like, dang, this guy does not fit. Like he definitely has a really exciting, like, competitive. So he's really watch, like top.
Yeah. And we talked to him at the game or at the press conference, and he was so stoked, and he has gained so much confidence going through this games experience that he can't wait for next year.
Yeah, I believe it. I mean, it's hard to do what he did, third week of a semifinal, then has to go into the last chance. Your season's just longer. You have more competitions than everybody else, and then turn around a couple weeks later, get ready for the games, even though he didn't think he made it out of the last chance. Talk about a whirlwind just to get there. But yeah, good for him. He's made the most of it for sure.
Yeah. And then Danny,
I have to say though,
go ahead, Amy.
I was just gonna say, I have to say that watching some of those girls at the beginning with those heavy sandbags, that I was actually starting to worry that they were going to kind of fall over and get hurt, even like hitting their head. I'm like, you're gonna get a concussion if they fall down from this. And there was a few times Kat and I were sitting right next to each other that I had to just be like, I can't watch, just because it's kind of nerve-wracking seeing them kind of move in those positions, but it was still very exciting event.
So Guy and Danny, we expected to do well, and they just did their thing like they always do. Guy, barbell, sandbag, pig flip, whatever you want to throw at him, he's going to be able to lift it no matter what. I got to ask Taylor, since you've tested these, how high did you guys get?
I personally bowed out because I had a pretty significant back injury leading up into quarterfinals. And I mean, as you could see, half of them in a back bend. That probably wasn't the best extension that I was in, but I watched one of the girls, her name was Cece. She was helping with the team workouts, and that girl is strong. Her arms like my leg. I was like, man, this girl's gonna clean all the way up to 200 pounds. And I want to say she got to like the 180-pound bag. But yeah, it was really exciting to watch, just being there in like a small setting, and then like seeing them on the big stage was so cool, and like seeing all the bags lined up. And I don't know what it was about like the blue and the red sandbag just made it look more intimidating too, as they're all lined up on my side.
And how about the theatrics of the 250-pound bag being rolled out from the back?
I called it. As soon as we were watching the men's heat, I was like, there are way too many guys on the floor still. I guarantee you Boz is going to pull out a 250-pound bag. He's probably already talking to somebody. And then all of a sudden you just see this dolly come out.
I was thinking that like at the beginning, even on the girls' side, it just looked like they were moving those first few bags so easy. You're saying, oh, they're never going to fail. And then right at that 300, 200 mark, guys and women respectively, you just started to see, half the field get kind of chipped away at 10 athletes every round. I thought, they figured out the weight almost perfectly. And then with a little dolly sandbag surprise at the end, it was cool. Allie was very proud that she made it past she made the 200 sandbag, by the way. So
awesome.
I'd be remiss if I didn't say that and give her some love here.
So we go into tomorrow, 3 events to go. I'm letting you go, Aim.
People, the event staff that were working and moving the over.
She's breaking up.
You're breaking up.
She's
Aim.
out.
I'm just.
We're all in the venue, like in different spots, and we can hear each other like through the hallways, but we didn't want to all be in the same spot because we look silly like lined up together. So it's all good. She's